Welcome to the RPG Podcast.
And we are live.
Oh, God, Patton!
Presented by SHEATH. A Time Wheel production.
Thank you, everyone, for coming back to the Robert Patton Global Podcast. We are here with the UFC Flyweight Champion of the World, Brandon Moreno. Thank you, sir, for coming. How you doing?
Hey, man. I mean, that sounds amazing. Always when the guy introduced me, sounds amazing. When the people say the Flyweight champ, it's really good.
That's so cool.
I'm fine. I'm perfect. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've been a big fan. You know, I watched you on The Ultimate Fighter when you were on the show, and you just had, like, you're so fun and positive. I know everyone already tells you that, but just from me, it means a lot because, you know, this podcast is about success in a lot of avenues, and a positive mental attitude is like one of the most important aspects of success. I don't know if do you read any motivational self-help books or anything?
I mean, like motivational books, something like no, to be honest. Obviously, I love to read some books about different themes, like, I don't know, like philosophy, like psychologies, and right now I'm reading a book. The name is Winning from Tim Grover. It's an amazing book because he has another book. The name is Relentless, and that book is really good. But this, in particular, this one, Winning, talks about what happened after when you get your goals, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people got the goals and start to lose the
motivation,
mentality, the passion, you know.
Yes.
They think like everything is done, and man, that's not true, man. I mean, it's just the beginning, actually.
Yeah, like with me and with SHEATH, we're doing so well, but you got to keep going. It doesn't stop when you reach a certain number. It's like always improving forever.
Man, and that's why actually it's so funny when the people ask me for some advice or something like that, because it's like, hey, man, no secrets here. And I think it's a little bit a cliche, but it's a cliche because it's true. I mean, no secrets here. It's just hard work. It's time, definitely, but you need to be really patient in this, you know. Obviously, you would SHEATH when you start when you try to start with something on the sport, in whatever you want to do in this world.
When you lost those couple of fights and ended up out of the UFC, did you, like, how did you just stay positive, or did you get negative at all, like feel bad?
Man, of course.
Of course.
I remember when UFC told me about they released me from the company. I was very sad, and I had a lot of negative thoughts in my mind in that moment. But you know, there is when the discipline is coming. You know, because I don't have any motivation to go to the gym, for example. But I try just to be very disciplined. Wake up in the morning, eat my breakfast, and go to the gym every single morning, even with all these bad moments in my life, and try to be very resilient with my life in that moment. That's it. And obviously it's very easy to me just to talk about this. Obviously the practice is different. It's very, very hard, but it is what it is. If you really want this, you need to keep going.
That reminds me of Rocky 5 or Rocky 4 when he talks about, it's like, it's not how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep fighting and get back up. And you know,
I love those movies. And yes, man, I mean, what can I say? I had a lot of bad moments in my life, specifically talking about my 2018 year. Man, that year for me in my life was like bad, the worst year ever in my life. But yeah, man, I mean, the life hit me very, very hard in that moment, and just keep going, and that's it.
It's beautiful though, right? It makes winning that much sweeter.
Yeah, actually, I mean, a lot of people told me when they watch me, I don't know, in the street or, the people recognize me and like, man, I love your history, how you was released from the gypsy and then you back to the company and start to kill everybody there. You start to improve your skills. And man, I think that's why the people feels more happy with my victory because my history is different. And obviously it was hard, but right now, um, you you say this before, like the flyweight champ of the world sounds even better.
It's amazing, and I know it. I love Michael Bisping. We work with him, and he has taken that championship and like turned it into, a career outside of the UFC. And now
Yeah.
that you're a champion, like you'll never not have been a champion. So forever you have that belt, and you can whenever like you're so young,
Yeah.
you still have 10 more years or 5 or 7 more years. How long do you want to fight?
Oof, that is a really good question because I know I'm very young. Right now I'm 27 years old, but man, I'm starting this sport very young too, like at 12 years old. So imagine this. I mean, imagine all the sparring sessions, all the hard trainings. I mean, I'm 27 right now, but my body sometimes feel like I don't know 35 or 40. I start to feel a lot of pain in my legs, in my feet. So I don't know, man. I mean, right now 27. I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 years more because I wanna be healthy in the future for my family.
I like, I love Cowboy Cerrone, and we work with him, but he like maybe fought too soon, too much, and really broke down his body. And I like when sometimes just take a year, just you're the champ, relax.
No, I mean, and the people need to understand, and for people like cowboy fighters, like cowboy, those guys are warriors, definitely warriors. But sometimes it's very brave to know how is enough for somebody, right? I, try to finish your career like on top, or at least the most closer to the top you can, because it's very sad when a lot of fighters went to the fight and start to be knocked them out like every single fight. That for me at least, that's too sad.
Right, like, well, Henry Cejudo, he went out
Yeah,
on
man.
top.
I mean, Henry Cejudo, Habib, definitely,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
George St. Pierre, man,
Yeah.
those guys those guys are legends because they finished their careers on top, right? Uh, but I don't know. I mean, I don't, man, it's hard to me to say names, but I mean, Anderson Silva, Chuck Liddell, those guys are legends to me. But it's a fact, these guys finished their careers like not in the
Right.
best place.
Right. And, I don't know. I love watching you fight, especially that last fight was awesome. I was really excited when you won, but like you have this cool shoulder movement, like you keep your arms tucked in, and it's really like by the book or whatever, you must have a good coach and listen and like kind of just, you always seem to be in good form, and that's important.
I mean, it's a Mexican boxing style.
Yeah.
I tried a lot of different styles in my career, right? Like a lot of like switch stances, go sopa sometimes. But for some fighters, that is not the correct style. And for me, be basic with my fundamentals is the best style ever. Right now, with my hands with my hands up, very close with my guard, with a really good footwork, right? Very basic but really good footwork, and that works for me. Maybe not for other fighters, but for me, it's the key of my victory right now. I meet my boxing coach, Drift Cortez. He worked with a lot of Mexican champions in the past. Right now, it's very focused in the mixed martial arts, boxing for mixed martial arts, and they gave me another different perspective of the sport, because a lot of guys say something like, "Now, man, I mean, just traditional boxing is not working for MMA." But man, if you know how to put all these new skills in the mixed martial arts, you can make a huge difference in your game.
Yeah, you make it your own style, like Bruce
Yeah.
Lee and Jeet Kune Do, and you take what works for you and you get rid of what doesn't work. And this seems to be working because you're putting it together nicely. Your kicks, you had like some roundhouse kicks and the stomach, which are pretty. I try to do that, and it's hard to put it in the right spot, you know.
Okay.
You know, but you're a professional.
No, I mean, and at the end of the day, I have too much time doing this sport, right? Like kickboxing, throwing punches, and kicks. So that's what I'm telling you. This, I mean, I knew how to combine all this classic boxing style with the mixed martial arts. You know, with the kickboxing, with the Muay Thai, how to throw really hard kicks. So right now, my boxing, with my kicks, with my takedowns, even with my takedowns, you know, my footwork, my head movement, all this combined together, and you know, I have my own style and works so good with me.
Yes. Are you? I think you're starting a fighting organization, right? Like a.
Sorry?
You're starting a fighting organization, like a league in Tijuana, or no?
Maybe. I mean, in the future, not right now, because I want to be really focused in my professional career, right? But you know, I have a lot of plans in the future. That's why I told you I want to go out in this sport like not very old, because I want to have a lot of energy to enjoy my family, to make some business, you know, and you know, a professional promotion in the future can be a really huge option for me. And I'm excited because I think in Mexico, for example, we need more promotion, more spots where the Mexican fighters can show all the skills, all their skills, to prove we are really good in combat sports, not just boxing. I mean, mixed martial arts too.
In boxing, for sure. That fighter spirit, that warrior spirit, I think it translates into any fighting style, you know. And it's just like the tough people, hardworking, love that Mexican culture, because it's not appreciated enough, honestly, in America. It's like Mexico's right there. They're the hardest working people that come to America and do all this stuff. And it's, you know, my family's half of it is Mexican, and so I'm
nice.
Slightly biased. But
from where?
Texas, Laredo, South Texas.
Really? Actually, my wife she's from Laredo.
Yeah. My family, McAllen, Laredo.
Okay.
And we had just like my ancestors. I did that ancestry.com, and they're from like that whole territory, and it was hot, desert. You got to be tough to survive in that area. But also, you know, like you said, it's right there. Well, you didn't say that, but you know, Mexico, it's right there. And so to have that incorporated into, you know, what we have going on in America, it would be just so easy to just like push everything down. And because it's just like there's this border, it's just like this imaginary border that everything stops, and there's Mexico where it's not America, but we're all the same. And it's like, it should just be like one, maybe. I don't want to get political.
I know. No, it's fine. I mean, for me, for example, I'm from Tijuana.
Yeah.
Mexico is the border with California.
I've been there.
With San Diego.
Yes.
Yeah, so I grew up in a city where you can get the best of two worlds, right? I get the best. I got the best things from the United States, and the best things from my country, from Mexico. So we have all these amazing traditions, all the Mexican experience, the hard work, and at the same time, all the best things from the United States. So, I mean, that talking about geographic position, I had like really good opportunities. That is a fact in my life. So yeah, I think that combination was good for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. I lived in Orange County, and we would
really?
drive down at one point, and we would drive down, and a lot of people drive down there to party, you know?
I know, man. I mean, Tijuana is very famous for the nightlife because Tijuana has a lot of like nightclubs and that stuff. And it's crazy. We have a lot of tourists from the United States.
Yeah, I remember like when you go down and you come back and kids are selling you chiclets and whatnot. And that was a long time ago. I don't know if they still do that. Do they still sell chiclets or no? No?
I can imagine, bro. I can imagine.
Yeah. You're doing really good with your English. Do you use like an app or anything?
Not really. Sometimes I try to use Duolingo, but
yeah, same here.
To me,
yes,
was better just go to the water, just try to talk with the people.
Yeah,
I was in the Ultimate Fighter season 22 in 2016, and in that moment, my English was like very, very bad, and was so frustrated in my life to try to talk with my partners in the house, in the tube house, and anybody understand nothing about my words. And what I was very frustrated in that moment. So after that, I tried to learn a lot of English, and just go to the war, try to talk with the guys. Sometimes the guys put a poker face because they don't understand nothing of my words. But I started to get more confidence in my language, and I'm here. Watch me now. I can speak with you like very well. I know it's
absolutely
not 100%.
No,
but
yeah.
I can have a nice conversation with you, bro.
100%. Yeah, I'm doing Duolingo and I'm practicing Spanish, and I'm just working my way down. But you really, like you said, you got to I need to go to Mexico or somewhere where it's embed.
Actually, I'm sorry, but actually that helped me too much because I went to a lot of places in the United States, like Arizona, Los Angeles, Denver, like really American places, and where they just speak English, never Spanish, and what's hard, but my language is better now.
Yeah, you figured it out. Yeah, you're doing great. I think it's smart because like Charles Oliveira doesn't speak English, and it hurts him in his popularity, and like because he's the champion too, right? But he's not as popular as you, in my opinion, and just because of that.
Man, speak to language was so important in my career because actually, I mean, it's crazy. Right now, in my social media, in my graphics, I have more fans from United States than Mexico, for example.
Yeah, so it's not Joe Rogan.
All right.
Do you want to go on his show?
Maybe in the future. You never know.
Yeah, I mean that it's always good for publicity to go on Joe Rogan, right?
Actually, right? But I mean, the conversation is good too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Thank you. I try. It's just I call it a hang. We're like hanging out. We're just we've never really met other than that one time you called, which was really cool when you FaceTimed me with Jacob.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jacob.
Shout out to Jacob Parga.
Yeah, he came on here too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I had James Krause. Have you worked with him?
Yes, James Krause is really good.
He's so good. Like as a coach, he keeps all his fighters keep winning. Seems like. Actually,
he took a really good advantage in this pandemic. He putting a lot of guys in the events, in 2020. He's a hard worker guy.
This podcast is brought to you by ohanacavabar.com. Now, Ohana means family. But what is kava? Kava is a root from the South Pacific. It makes you calm and happy. Just go to ohanakavabar.com. Choose your favorite brew. They have many to choose from with more on the way. And I personally like the tincture. It tastes good. It gets you quick and you're calm and relaxed in a moment. It cools and calms the nerves. And I think you'll like it. Let them know we sent you. Support this podcast by supporting our sponsors and support this company. So go to ohanakavabar.com. Use promo code SHEATH. You're going to love it. Doesn't taste that great, but chase it with a nice pineapple. You will not be disappointed. Trust me on that. ohanakavabar.com. Ohana's family. Use promo code SHEATH. You're welcome. Last but not least, sheathunderwear.com. The greatest underwear on the planet. The underwear of legends. The underwear that keeps your balls from sticking to your legs. That's right. This is the best underwear because it keeps your boys cool. Check out sheathunderwear.com. Back to the show. Okay, so we were talking about, just to back it up, we were talking about learning 2 languages. Definitely advise that to anyone because it's just good for your brain to learn like a new instrument, learn art, painting, learning new languages, fighting, martial arts, these types of you're working different parts of your brain and it just makes you a more well-rounded individual. So you have that. It's a little like life hack, a biohack. You're literally smarter when you learn another language. So kudos to you for that. How did you said you started fighting when you were 12?
I mean, I started training at 12 years old. I started in mixed martial arts at 12.
Why?
I had a long amateur career.
But why did you start?
I mean, I started mixed martial arts in general. Then I started to compete in kickboxing, amateur kickboxing. I had a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, and then a lot of mixed martial arts amateur fights.
Well, because I wanted to be in the NBA. I played basketball when I was young, and I wanted. Did you always know you wanted to be a professional fighter, or why would you start fighting?
No.
Your parents?
I'm starting in mixed martial arts. I'm starting doing something in the sports because I was like tired to be just in my house eating bad food. I was a chubby kid when I was young, so I tried to exercise in my life, right? So I went to the to the MMA and started to train, and I'm start to love the sport. Obviously, in that specific moment, I don't knew nothing about my future, right? Like be a professional fighter or something like that. But with the pass of the time, I started to know a little bit about my future. Like, maybe this can be a possibility in my life. And when I had 17 years old, I went to a professional. I had my first professional fight. Just 17 years old. I was a kid, literal, and my parents needed to sign a letter for the Mexican Commission of Tijuana to give me their permission to fight. I fought against a guy from California, from San Diego, and I won that fight.
Nice. So that, I have a lot of fighters, like that moment when you win, like right when you win, it's like if you could capture the feeling in a bottle of like you just won, and I think that's something that we all strive for in our professions, whatever it might be, if you're acting or a comedian or whatever. And so for the success, like one of the things I do is visualize, I'd like visualize. I want to give speeches to large crowds and motivate them and tell them like kind of like they could do it type thing. But did you ever do any visualizing?
Every day, man.
Okay.
I think more when I'm in my training camp. Maybe not right now, but when I'm in training camp, I'm trying to visualize every single day that moment when I'm going to the arena, what I want to dress that night, to wear that night, my arrival to the, to the locker room, my walking to the octagon. I try to visualize everything.
Nice.
And for example, using my last fight, all the experts, all the MMA media, all the journalists was talking about, Figueiredo, all this guy was amazing, the God of War. I understand that,
The God of War.
the guy was
He's tough.
the guy is really good.
He's scary looking.
But the most important thing for me was to believe in myself,
Yes.
I'm the best, and everybody can say whatever they want, but in my mind, in my body, in every single place of my body, I'm the best, and that's it. I'm the best in that octagon. And then you saw my last fight. Put was all total domination of Figueiredo.
Flawless.
And right now, actually, the guy is trying to get the trilogy, and I understand, but they don't have any argument, to get the immediately rematch. I dominate him on the ground, on the feet, with my striking, with my with my grappling, with everything. So obviously, I'm open to fight against him in the future again, but I think he needs to fight another different fight to deserve a rematch against me.
What if he fought Pantoja and then the winner of that fight fought
Yes,
you?
man, I want to fight. I mean, right now I don't have nothing official. I don't have any fighter. I don't have a contract from the UFC. We are my Iridium Sports, my management, and I we are trying to get the next fight, but we don't have nothing official yet. It can be Pantoja, it can be Figueiredo, it can be whatever they want.
I know, but those two could fight. If those two fought,
I mean, Pantoja tried to get the fight. I'm open to fight against him. And obviously, the people know the history. He beat me twice before, but I really believe I'm not different fighter right now. I mean, nothing like in comparison than that fighter in 2018.
yes.
And man, I'm ready. I don't care. I don't care his abilities. I don't care Figueiredo. I don't care Pantoja, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to defend my title because I'm hungry than ever, man.
I love that. I love that winning, and because you got to keep it. You got to just keep that winning mentality, and never. Having that confidence. I know I mentioned this like 2 times in different podcasts, but when Rose Namajunas beat Zhang Wei Li, she was saying, "I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world," and then she went out and dominated. I love that.
Yes, man. I mean, I was saying the same, obviously, in Spanish. I mean, in Spanish is soy el mejor. I am the best. But yes, man, everything was my mind. My mind in that moment was on point.
Soy el mejor.
Soy el mejor.
Soy el mejor.
Eso es.
Soy el mejor.
Soy el mejor. I'm the best. Soy is I'm.
I am, yeah. And L is and then mejor, best. Nice. Okay. Well, I've talked to other fighters, and like Raquel Pennington, for instance. I interviewed her, and she doesn't do that, like visualizing it's just different, like saying you're the best and you're the best and you're the best. I feel like you want to think that, like, just go for the win, visualize your hands being raised at the end and Bruce Buffer's saying, and still champion, flyweight champion, Brandon Moreno. Like, because in the books I read, you don't have to you just have to visualize the ending, the very end, you winning, and everything else somehow works itself out in the book. It's just these books I read, and it seems to be working for me and for you, and a lot of the most successful people in the world throughout history talk about this visualizing, and that's why I try to teach that to the people watching. It's like, it's very important. That part of it is so important. Just visualizing, you know, and then the action afterwards.
Man, I mean, to me, it's not just the end. It's try to visualize. I mean, again, it's tries to visualize everything, like every single moment.
I like it.
That day when I wake up in the morning and I try to do my activation. You know, in the hotel, try to hit some meets with my coach, then rest a little bit, try to read some book. I did that before, in the last fight. I ate my breakfast, then I did my reactivation with my coach, hitting some meets. Then I start to rest again, read some book, and you know, waiting for the fight. You know, my stylist Elliot went to my hotel room and start to fix my hair and you know, give me my suit for the arena and everything. And before that, I tried to visualize all these moments. You know, with my suit. Sorry. Going to the bus, going to the arena, the freeway, the cars. Man, everything for me is everything. Every single moment.
Okay, I like that. The more detailed, the better. You know,
Exactly.
like, yeah, see everything, and I like that. Right on. Well, you're the champion, so I'm gonna listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you did it, and it started. It's kind of like it starts in your mind. You know, with an idea. A lot of people have ideas to become, you know, they want to become an entrepreneur or like a businessman, but then they don't do the thing.
Yeah,
You gotta
I mean, and just one more.
Yes.
In that moment when I'm in the locker room, there, I'm just imagining the end. There, you know, I'm in the locker room. I want to be everybody quiet, and I'm, you know, alone with my mind, just thinking about the end, thinking about how to finish the fight, maybe knockout, maybe submission, you know, maybe decision. I don't know. I just trying to imagine me with my hand up, and that's it.
I love it. It worked. And you are the champion. I love that. Just like so you haven't had a chance to defend it, you know, so that's going to be, they say like that's the true test or whatever, but as long as you have that mentality, I think you're on the right track personally. What you said you know, what do you eat for breakfast? I know that might be a weird question, but
The breakfast before the fight, you know, that day.
yeah, and most days.
So right now, UFC has an amazing food program. You know, they are working with in the Performance Institute, and they give us all the meals, the prep meals during all 5 week, and you know, the breakfast in that day, you know, before the fight, is a kind of red pancakes with a special ingredient. I don't remember the name to be honest, but that ingredient gives you a lot of energy, you know, during the day. You know, it's you know, eggs, pancakes, and that's it. And then you get something more in the afternoon, and I don't have more food until you know, after the fight. So it's just my breakfast, my lunch, maybe some snack before the fight, and that's it.
Okay. That helps, having them giving you your meals, so you have like this is like scientists probably designing the meals for you.
Of course, man, and man, that helps too much because you don't have any problem trying to get another different food, you know, in the city, because sometimes it's like, oh man, I don't know, I'm in Nashville fighting there. I don't know the city, and I need to find some place, a healthy place to eat something, and sometimes the place is not really healthy, and you have problems in your stomach. It's a real problem, man. But right now, with UFC, they give you all the prep meals. That problem is not more in your life.
It's not. That's great. Yeah, I like diet is so important, and especially when you're fighting a game of like inches, when it's like the tiniest little difference will make a difference. And it might be that he ate a hamburger and you ate fish, and he's moving that fraction of a second slower because hamburger's not as good as whatever they're making for you there. I was in the Army, and I went to basic training.
Okay.
And they had 2 lines of food. One was fast food, burgers, French fries, hot dogs, corn dogs, and one was like fish and white rice and white eggs and like salad and all the good stuff. And I never ate from the fast food line. And long story short, I won the physical fitness challenge at the end of basic training for the Army because of discipline and just eating right. And then the working out part, it's easier too when you eat right, to work out.
And maybe sometimes you can't see the difference, but a lot of people eat bad, and during his day they feeling bad, and they don't even know that. But when you start to eat well, you start to feel with energy, with a better energy, right? And that's amazing. And then you start to see the difference.
100%. Yeah, it's all these little things: the positive attitude, the discipline, the visualizing, the diet, it's who you surround yourself with. I imagine you're just with your family a lot. How's that? The wife and the kids?
Yeah, man. Obviously it's hard to me to spend too much time with them because all day I'm training or doing interviews or something like that. But I'm trying to put a lot of good energy when I'm with them, right? With my daughters, with my wife, trying to talk about the day, my daughter going to the school, what happened in the school that day, what you eat there, and my wife, what you did today, I'm trying to spend really good time with them when I'm in the house, because right now it's hard, training all day, like 5-6 hour training, or doing interviews, or going to some place for a photo shoot or something like that. But it is what it is. It's part of the success, and I know I'm trying to pay the price right now to the future, build and my brand, and be a little bit more relaxed with that. Obviously, I'm a hard worker, and I know when I'm, for example, retire of my professional career, I will try to do something more. But I don't know, man. I'm just trying to pay the price right now.
How many interviews do you think you've given since you won? Like 1,000?
Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. But right now I'm fine because I start to do less interviews in my day. But for example, after the fight, like the first 2 weeks after, I'm like 2 or 3 interviews per day.
Okay.
And yeah, it was hard.
Have you talked to Ariel? Did you do Ariel Helwani?
Actually, no. I talked with him before, but no after the fight.
Okay. Yeah, he just went back to his show. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I watch all the MMA guys, and he's fun. I like him.
No, he's a nice guy, but maybe in the future we can talk again.
Do you want to fight Jake Paul?
Not really.
He's
a
kidding.
huge guy. Or maybe yes. If he gives me 2 million like Tyron Woodley, I can fight against him. Why not?
Yeah, that's been fun. I like all the antics. You don't really have to do that though. You don't have to talk a bunch of shit. People just like you. So that's good.
It's a new era. Robert. I'm trying to make the nice people the new fashion, right?
Okay. Yeah, and that works because there's different ways to promote yourself. I mean, I like the bad guys. You got because I think you have to have the bad guys, and then you have to have the good guys, and then the good guys beat the bad guys.
You know what? It's just to be real. If you're a bad guy, I mean, you need to be real on that, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I know I'm not a bad guy, and the people know that. You know, I'm just trying to be real.
Exactly.
And for me, be real is just to be nice with the people, be educated, be very kind, be humble, and that's it. The people recognize that.
I love it. Yeah, because I know when Figueiredo was champion, he was walking around with the sunglasses and he was fucking all badass. It was. I mean, he looked cool. It looks cool, but you look cool.
But man, I'm going again with that. The people recognize real, and the people recognize fake too, man.
Yeah, your social media is like. Are you at 2 million yet? I know you were at like 1.1 last time I checked.
Oh, my social media is like 1 million, something like that. You know.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. I mean, you know, we're talking about about the language, about to be real, about it's all the combination, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you went from I'm imagining relatively broke to now people pay you, you know, like tens of thousands of dollars probably to promote their product. That's probably pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, 2018, I was almost broke. I mean, I was broke in that moment. Like so far, yeah, of course, yes. You know, trying to get my, you know, trying to pay the school of my daughter, because in that time my daughter was in a private school in Mexico, in Tijuana. So I tried to get money for that, pay bills, all that stuff. In that moment was broke, man, but just keep working, discipline, sacrifice, just keep going forward. And yes, man, right now I'm getting all the rewards of the hard work and the dedications.
Well, yes, you are, and as a fan, it's fun to watch. It's an honor to have you come on to the Robert Patton Global Podcast.
Nice.
I'm not going to take any more of your time. I know you're traveling. You're with your family. It was very generous.
4 more hours to Vegas. So it's easy money.
No problem. Too easy. Yeah, too easy.
Thank you so much, man, for the invitation. It was nice to talk with you.
It's nice, and I'll see you in like 10
weeks,
days.
Right?
2 weeks. Yep.
Something like that, yeah. To the photo shoot. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I like your new tattoo, so we'll.
Man, it's awesome. Actually, I love my new tattoo.
All right, brother. Well, thank you again. I'll let you go, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Of course, man. Thank you so much, man. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Peace.
Bye.
Bye, Brandon.